feet. So I'm going to show you guys how to install a 100-foot Hoselink on a post to going on my house and drilling into the mortar or doing cement into the ground for a post. I elected to do a spike, okay? And what you're going to need is a 4x4 post, you're going to need a spike, and then you're going to need a sledgehammer, and you're going to need a Hoselink. So we're going to go do one of these up front, and I'll show you guys how to do it. Let's go. All right, so we had an 82-foot Hoselink. That was their maximum. Hoselink has now come out with a 100-foot hose. And if you don't know, Hoselink is the #1 hose. They are my favorite. I've worked with other companies, and the retract stops working. It doesn't go all the way back in, and it's, you know, it'll snap your hand when it snaps the hose out of your hand. So, you know, and they give you all kinds of brackets and stuff in here to do the whole mount it to the house. And I like personally doing it on this post. The handle, the transport handle, 100-footer, baby. Beauty, huh? Look at that. Here, can you get a zoom in on that right there? 100-foot, baby. All right, I'm gonna show you guys how to install this thing. It's quick, simple, takes you probably about like 15 minutes, if that. All right, so we got her all undressed, and here is our bracket. And big thing about these when it comes to this brand is that these brackets do not bend. A lot of the other ones, over time, the retractable hose starts to droop. This one is like, you can hang from it. It's like, it might as well be steel. So, but it comes with all the screws and everything. And what we're gonna do is, before we install our post, you mount this to the post, okay? Because I made the mistake before where you put the post in, clamp it all down, and then now you're drilling while it is on the post. So we're gonna pre-do that right now. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I couldn't find a pencil. My daughter's marker is good enough. So I'm going to place this in here, make a little dot in each of the holes here. So now, as you can see, we got our 4 markings there. So now we are going to take our drill, beauty. All right, now we're ready to install. So I'm kind of just putting these in by hand to make sure line up here. Yep. Head of switch tools. We are a 10 millimeter, and we will get this going. And now we screw them in on each side. So now what you need is a little extender to get in here, because you can't really, this goes in on an angle. So when you have the extender, that way you can get inside this groove. So you're gonna need this to make this job a little bit easier. Got it. All right, so now this is good to go, and we'll be ready to put our hose right on there after we install our spike. So first, we're gonna make a tiny little piece to hammer in the spike, and then after that, we're gonna go hammer it in and make sure it's plumb. So check this out. This is how you cut it. All right, so now we have our little hammering piece that will go into this. And what we're gonna do is, you're gonna need a level, okay? This term is called plumb. We're gonna put it up against here because we want this post to be nice and straight. So that bubble needs to stay in between on that side, and then also needs to stay in between on that side, so that will ensure that this post is straight up and down, because you don't want this thing on an angle like this, and then now, I mean, you can get the picture when you put your Hoselink on here, and then you're in trouble. So I'll get this thing started And then now we're gonna start hammering. All right, so now that we're done, this thing comes right out. We are nice and plumb. Oh, here, well, it was nice and plumb. We had this thing sitting right up there. We're golden, pretty much. Good enough. Now this comes out. So now we have our post that we already pre-installed. We're gonna kind of give this a couple taps in there. Get it down. Oops. There it is, in there, nice and solid. See that? This ain't going nowhere. It is deep inside the earth. And then now, we got the post. So now, we got this. Tighten the bracket around the piece of wood. There it is. All right, now we're tightening down. Put our mulch back over the top. Now we get the hose. All right, here it is. 100-foot hose, man. Hoselink. Boom, man. There it is. Nice and solid. 30 inches into the ground. Now we can just like, my kids will probably paint this thing, but let's just see. Let's extend it all the way out and see how far this baby goes. And let's bring it back in. 100 feet. Holy cow. There we go. Look how long this thing is. Oh. It's the most cardio I've gotten in forever. Boom, baby. All right, so it's that easy. You just hammer this thing in the ground, and as you've seen, 100-foot hose, man. Hoselink. This plastic, you know, just a little FYI, this is like the non-fading plastic. They're Australian brands, so they know about sun and heat. And the once again, the bracket is fantastic. It doesn't droop. I've had other brands where they droop. And how this returns back in, it's just a nice tight, or a little tiny tug. Goes right back in, and it's just overall, this is the best that I've used. And I mean, there's a couple other videos out there where you know, the lawn tools, they did that and they compared all of them, and Hoselink took it over. So, but that's it, man. 100-foot Hoselink install. There you go. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications for more DIY little projects like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. This is another thing I like about these Hoselinks. These quick connects. Boom. See that? Off. On. Now this is nice and tight. Good to go.